To make this more understandable, I'm a 25-year-old female. I lost both my parents in my mid-late teens and have since come to terms with it. I can go a long period without really thinking about them. I had a very loving relationship with each of them. Also, I'm a minimalist, so I don't keep many items. I have a few symbolic things that represent my parents, our perfume, a necklace, my dad's watch, etc. Most of these things I keep in a box out of sight, but a couple things I keep on display, mainly out of laziness and not knowing where to put them. In my bedroom near the big window there is a small hook screwed onto the wall, about shoulder height. On the hook is a necklace my mother always wore. It had a little sand dollar on it. The hook also held one of my mom's favorite Christmas ornaments. It didn't even look like a holiday decoration, so I kept it out all year long. Also, on that hook was a small clay heart that read, "No longer by your side, but always in your heart." I'd been sitting on my couch doing something dumb, I'm sure, when I hear a loud noise. My cat, who'd been laying beside me, was startled. I had found it most strange but had been reading a lot of scary stories on Reddit and told myself to just relax. I wasn't even really sure what had fallen, but I was 100% sure something had. And I didn't even get up to check until an hour later or two. When I did, I realized very quickly that the necklace, the ornament, and the clay heart were all laying on the corner of my bed. My first thought was that I was surprised the heart didn't break. It has sounded rather loud. Now my bed is not far from where the hook is, you see. I have a small bedroom and it faces the window or the wall where the hook was. I'd say about 2 feet from the wall is the foot of my bed. Anyhow, these items were on my bed, and they somehow came off this hook. I had thought this strange but didn't touch my mother's things until that night when I was climbing into bed. I didn't hang them back up, I decided to put them away. But I was nonetheless spooked because, if you saw this hook, you see that it's not easy for things to slide off it. I've had those things hanging on that hook for 6 years, only removing them to wear the necklace or to dust. I believe I've even accidentally brushed against it here and there and had no recollection of anything falling from the hook. I didn't realize my mother had died 9 years earlier on that exact date, or that all 3 of those particular items were special to her, and only until I'd gone to my neighbors and told the story aloud, which in turn sparked my memory of the date. Since realizing that it was just my mama related, I felt fine with the idea. I sometimes wonder if the following story really happened, but my sister and brother both swear it's true. When I was a kid, I slept in a room with my older brother, while my older sister slept in another room with my youngest brother. Our rooms were quite small though, so to create more space we took off the doors of the closet and put the dresser and stuff in them. One of the stuffed animals that was up there was actually a weird looking bear that was colored red and white with an oversized head and a small body. This particular stuffed animal was given to us by our aunt, who had a child years earlier that when born had an oversized head due to an excess amount of water in the brain. This poor child died soon after birth, and she gave us the stuffed animals that he had. I assume she got this particular one for the child because it reminded her of him. My siblings thought it was ugly when it was given to us, but I thought it was unique and sort of cute. Despite it sort of being mine, it somehow ended up in my sister's room. My sister and my youngest brother slept in a bunk bed. She slept on the top bunk, while my brother slept on the bottom. Because my brother was afraid of the dark, they slept with lights on. From where they were at in their beds, they had a clear view of the closet. One night, my sister suddenly awoke to see the stuffed bear moving one of his arms back and forth, which looked like it was waving hello. She immediately got freaked out and started trying to wake up my younger brother by calling his name. As she was calling his name to wake him up, the stuffed bear stopped waving, and suddenly it and another stuffed animal started moving their heads from side to side, which looked like they were saying no, and urging her to not wake him up. At this time, my brother woke up and saw the stuffed animal shaking their heads no, They then ran out of the room screaming, which woke up our whole house and made my dad throw out the stuffed animals that were guilty of freaking them out. I don't know if there was a spirit attached to the stuffed bear or if the bear was tied to so much emotion and energy and was thus a kind of magnet for entities, but I was sad to see it go, despite the scary story. About 5 years ago, me and my lifelong friend were working out in a neighbor's home gym. It was about 10:30 at night and we were playing a band we liked at the time on IHome. We stopped to drink some water when I said to him, partially to creep him out and partially to tell him the true story, "Did you know that the people's son that used to live here was a Mormon missionary and shot himself in this room because of serious porn addiction?" My friend replied, "Fuck you, no he didn't." I said, "No, I'm serious, he really did. His mom found him and she told me his face was unrecognizable after the gunshot." My friend was in mid-sentence when all of a sudden, the IHome turned itself way up and started changing through songs rapidly on the iPod. It stopped in the middle of the song lyrics being, "Children are running." It skipped again really fast and stopped again in the middle of the song lyrics being, "The devil plays his drums." And then without us touching anything, the IHome shut off. It didn't break because we used it later in life. We grabbed our things and ran back to my house without saying a word until we got into my room. If anyone has any logical explanation for this, besides ghosts, I would appreciate hearing them. Me and my friends still talk about this to this day.